Okay, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lifestyle Unfiltered with Maria and Heather. I don't know why I'm going in on this intro today, but I am. Today we were going to talk about self-respect. Um, and where that applies everywhere in our lives. And we don't really plan these out, but I'm assuming I'm going to give you an assumption of what I think the rundown will probably kind of look like. What we've been through, where we're at, how you get there, practices, support systems, all the things. I think that we decided this, yesterday?
Yes.
But I think it's very fitting for the conversations that we've had today. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I have.
Excuse me. I'm just over here playing. So don't
You're doing
mind me.
great.
But no. Essentially, this is the relationships part 2 episode that was deleted from our podcast list.
Oh my God, I did delete it. I deleted it for good reason, though. No, I didn't. Hold
No, no, you didn't. No, you
on,
didn't.
let me explain that. We might have already explained it, but I'm just gonna say, like, I
No, we haven't explained it.
okay, so I was in a very unhealthy, toxic relationship, and if you've ever been in one of those, you know how it is. There's a lot of manipulation, there's a lot of gaslighting, there's a lot of victim blaming, and basically I had been having a strong moment when we recorded that podcast, and I was laying it all out, and I was like, fuck it. I don't care. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're cool. And then I went back and I like had my moment of weakness, and I went back, and he had been like listening to our stuff, and I was just like, now I have to delete everything. So I kind of tried to do it really incognito, as if Maria wasn't going to notice or something. And she was just like, what are you doing? But we had both kind of spoken on things that we were like, maybe this just wasn't,
Yeah.
like it just wasn't. And another thing I do want to say before we jump into that or into this is that I don't like tearing other people down to make myself not feel
Yeah, but that's
better,
not
but
what
like,
you were doing.
I
That's not what
know,
you were
but
doing.
I kind of felt like my language could have been much more positive, and I don't want to justify, but okay, I'm not saying that what this person has had done is okay by any means, but I just think that there are more graceful tactics to dealing with these issues and speaking about them and sharing your truth. And I believe, if I remember correctly, we both kind of went in, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
We
um
did.
okay, cool, I don't want to be wrong, but today we can elaborate a little bit more. We can be more open, and we can talk about things in a productive way. And then Maria wants me to read something to y'all, so it'll be really good. It'll be good.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I have my lights on, so I'm very bright right now. But yeah, I just both of us have done a lot of growing. And like I told you, like I said in the podcast before, I'm an empath, and I do, and I have a really big connection with Heather, as you guys know. So everything she feels, I feel. So we've kind of gone through this crap together. I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't necessarily been through her crap, but I
Mhm.
understand what she's feeling. Because, one, I've been through it before. Um, I've been through it before. And
Go ahead.
I spoke on this a little bit last podcast. I was in an abusive marriage, but it wasn't what what you think. I guess I should say it was oil and water. It was a lot of aspects went into it, but
Yeah.
you know, and we just she just had like an aha moment, and it was nice. So finally, she's finally walking away. I'm very proud of her.
you know.
Um, and that's kind of where we got that's kind of where we got from today. I mean, like she read this poem that she's going to read to you in a little bit, but it's amazing, and it's really everything that everybody was saying to her that she finally understands.
You know
So,
what's so funny is that I was talking to my dad this morning, and my dad was talking about my personality, and he was like, there are certain times where I know that if I try to step in, you take that as a challenge, and you're like, oh, you think this is bad? Wait until you see what I do next. And I was like, but you know what? Like, that's not even like intentional, it's just how I am. And he was like, but you've always been like this, where like you have to learn the hard way. You have to fall on your face. Everyone can tell you, like, hey, if you do this,
mhm.
it's going to be bad. And you're just like, okay, well, then it's going to be bad, but I have to experience it. And you know what? I will say, I don't regret that though. Like, I appreciate that part of myself. And my reasoning for that is just that if you tell
honestly,
me, go ahead.
honestly, I'm sorry
It's
for
fine.
interrupting. Honestly, I really do think that you needed to go through this.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we need to go through everything that we fucking go through. And
yeah.
I'm stubborn. I know this, but I look at it like this. If you tell me this is going to happen, okay? I don't know that. I don't. And I'd rather have the experience, good, bad, indifferent. I'd rather have the experience and either take something away from it, learn from it, grow from it, be better because of it. Like, that's just how my brain is wired. And I would rather fail and get back up and like learn something than be scared. And I know that that sounds so stupid to some people. People are probably like, you were in an abusive relationship. Okay, number one, cycles of abuse are what they are. And I
Mhm.
don't think that I was like, I'm not scared of no abusive relationship. That's not what it was. I just, I wasn't afraid of the experience of getting out of it on my own terms. Um, but it was definitely, it
There
was,
was a lot of things that you had to realize, and
yeah,
the
for myself.
main thing, and the main thing being self-respect.
It froze on my side. The main thing was what?
Oh, sorry. No, the main thing being self-respect.
Yeah. Well, so, and we've talked about this a lot, excuse me, through this whole thing, and I am not, I'm going to be very, like, mindful of how I speak because I'm not trying to be, like, you know, really hateful because it is what it is. And
No,
I wish this
this
person
is not going to
nothing but
be a bashing
listen.
sense. Yeah.
No. And Maria knows that when shit ended, I was like, I wish you not I hope that you find peace within yourself. Like, that's where I'm at with it, right? And I really do wish that wasn't me being a dick like that. How some people will be like, oh my god, well, you know what, I hope your life is better. Like, no, I genuinely mean that. um I think that for myself through this whole thing, I was convincing myself, and I know lots of people who have done this, and I know that people go through this all the time. You're convincing yourself that you are respecting yourself because every once in a while you put your foot down, or you tell yourself and your partner, this is who I am. And you really may believe those things, but then you still allow treatment that is less than you deserve. So for me, you know, I had to acknowledge my interactions within and outside of my relationship because in my eyes, I had self-respect. And what I realized was that when I was outside the four walls of my house, I did know who I was, and I did know I was a good person, and I did have standards for myself, and I did surround myself with good people outside of the four walls of my house. And then when I went home feeling good, but then I let this person still treat me less, less loving than I deserved, for sure. And but because I had that level of self-respect outside of the home, I was convincing myself that I had it in the home, and that was wrong. I was very submissive. I was more submissive than I like to admit. And part of the confusion there was that I'm not quiet, right? Like, I speak my mind, and I'll be like, yo, fuck you, you're treating me in a way I don't agree with. And those conversations happened all the time. But I stayed. And by staying, that made me submissive. And that told him that even though I was upset about it, I was accepting it.
Mhm.
So, you have to ask yourself, and I talked about this, I don't know, a couple days ago. Um, you have to start asking yourself, like, what is the reality, right? Just because you tell yourself something doesn't mean that your actions, okay, follow through. And there were so many situations where I would be told, like, you're fucking crazy, you're toxic, you need to fucking leave, like, all this shit. Like, someone who loves you doesn't speak to you that way, number one. Number two, I'm like, everyone outside of this house that I know doesn't speak to me this way, right? Like, and when things were good, that person would tell me that they envied the type of heart that I had, and that I connected with people the way that I do, and that people just want to be kind to me, and that, I want to be kind to others, and that I was giving and all this. So, when you're in these situations, you have to sit down, and it's so hard because it's so emotional and you feel so beaten, and like, it's fucked up. But like, I had to start asking myself, like, okay, if everyone else, I would call Maria and be like, I'm a good person. And she's like, yeah, I know. Like, what are you doing? Um, if everyone else in your life sees you in the view that you're seeing yourself, right? And this person, this other person also sees you that way, except for when it's convenient for them. Um, you have to start asking yourself, like, what is the truth? Because a lot of times those comments make you feel crazy. And you're like, oh my God, what if he's right? Like, what if I am a bad person and all this stuff? But I know I'm not a bad person. I know that, and it took getting away from that situation to build myself back up. And luckily, it only took like a month. But, I had to acknowledge that, like, number
It's also
one,
hard to, it's really, really hard, and I'm sorry for interrupting you again,
oh, you're
but,
fine.
but it's really, really hard to, how do I put it? I'm trying to be as nice as possible.
Okay, go ahead. It's fine.
It's really, really hard. It's hard to walk away from something that you've been in for so long,
Invest
and
so much
you've
in.
yeah, you've got so much involved, and you were pretty much manipulated into falling in love with this person.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and then you think you have these intense feelings, and you don't want to you don't want to give that up. You're under the impression, okay, and it's a false impression
Hmm.
that you're in love.
Right.
Um,
Yep.
and that obviously, if this person is treating me this way, I deserve to be treated that way, and you
Right.
don't.
Right.
So
Well, and yeah, yeah. And I started having these moments where I was like, I was doubting myself because this person made me doubt myself. And it took physically removing myself to stop and go, the reactions you're getting from me, it's a reflection of how you're treating me. Because Maria knows, anyone who knows me knows, like, I try to treat everyone with kindness. I try to, like, stop and, like, pull myself together. And you want to talk about self-respect. I'm not begging anybody ever the fuck again for their time, for their love, for their attention. I grew up doing that, wanting it from a parent. And so I don't know if that
Mm-hmm.
was just like, it's just in me. But we just talked about this today. I was like, I'm not chasing shit, bro. Like, I am not chasing shit. And
You shouldn't have
yeah.
to.
No, because you know what? I am a good fucking person. I'm a good partner. I don't care what anybody fucking says. I will support you. I will pick you up when you're down. I will build you up. I will build with you. You have a dream. Your goal is mine. Like, that's how I function. That's how I function in my friendships. Like, that's how Maria and I are. Right? So, like,
Oh
if
yeah.
you if you are going to treat me bad, that's your fucking loss. But the level of self-respect that was gone, I mean, I would like beg and cry, like, and I would stand there and be like, I just want you to love me. I just want you to love me the way I love you. I just want you to want me and to want to spend time with me. And it's crazy because no one should have to do that. Like,
Mm-mm.
I and I'm not trying to like build myself up here. It's just I have done the work and I do have self-respect at this point. I am not your average fucking woman. Um I'm just not. I'm not. And so, I don't ask for much. I don't I'm very independent. Like, I don't want you to pay my bills. I don't want you to do for me. I just want you, like, all I ask for in relationships is like emotional reciprocation and communication. Like, that's all I really ask for. Um it's very rare that I'll ask someone to do something for me. Um it's crazy to me. But anyways, I it took me a minute to like realize. And then Maria and I were on the phone. I had gotten to a point, and this is where my level of self-respect started to change. I got to a point, I had done so much crying, so much begging, so much pleading, and I didn't feel like the other person was putting in the same amount of energy. And so I said, balls in your court, I'm not going to do shit. It's up to you what happens next. You put in the effort, I will reciprocate the effort that you put in.
Yep.
And I thought that was fair, considering that I hadn't gotten that in return. So I said, I will reciprocate the energy that you put in. And this person started texting me talking about, how am I supposed to give you what you want if I don't talk to you? I said, well, I don't know. Maybe start by talking to me. Um, I said, when you call me, you barely talk to me. And when you text me, you barely hold a conversation with me. That's not my fault.
Right.
It'd be
Exactly.
like, how was work today? It was work. What are you doing today? Nothing. Like, what else am I? How many times did you shake your dick after you piss? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to ask you after that. Like, I'm out of answers. So, he kind of went in on me, and then he goes, so we're done. And I said, are you asking me or are you telling me? Either way, you did it over a text, so yeah. Um, he said, so we're done. And I said, are you asking me or telling me? He said, I'm asking you. I said, the fact that you did this over a text message, like, that just shows me that, like, This is yeah, no, we're done.
Yeah,
I have
that's the
I
kind of
have
respect that he had for you.
right, I have the courtesy and the decency to speak to someone in person or at least over the fucking phone, like hear my voice when I speak to you, hear my inflection, like hear the emotion, what I have to say. He'd also said something about, you're right, like I don't fucking love you. And when I said like, hey, that's not an appropriate thing to say to somebody who's like wishing you peace and telling you they're not mad at you, he's like, oh well, obviously it was sarcastic and obviously I love you. Okay, well, obviously, like you don't have the tools to handle this type of situation in a way that is on par with how I would handle it. So it is what it is. And then following this, Maria was on the phone with me the whole time. I was just like, you know what? I wish you peace, whatever. And then I said, my mom was coming down. I said, when my mom gets here, I want to come get my stuff because my stuff is still at the house. And he told me that I couldn't bring my family, I couldn't bring anyone with me. And these are tactics he's used in the past to get me alone and then manipulate me to stay. And like boohoo to me. He told me if you bring people, I'm gonna bring people. I'm gonna call the cops on you. And my thing is like my name is on the lease. So it's not like I'm not going into my own home. Number two, if you pull up the text conversations between the two of us, mine were very peaceful and his were not. And he was threatening to fight people and be rude. And I just told him, like, listen, if you continue this behavior of like threats, like I'm going to get a restraining order and then I'm going to come get my things peacefully without you there. Because I was also told that I wasn't allowed to be in my own home alone. So, and then he went on and continued, and I said, okay, well, you're kind of leaving me without choice. And this is where the manipulation started again. And again, had I not built up the self respect over the time that I was gone, I would have caved. Honestly, Maria knows this. I would have caved.
Oh yeah. She's done it before, and you know, I would tell her, look, he knows what to say to get you to stay,
Yeah.
and you do it every time. But she had to learn on her own.
Well, he dropped the manipulation tactic on me of I said, I'm gonna have to get a restraining order, just like a civil order, like, nothing crazy, like, and he was like, wow, ruin my life more. And I told him, like, I'm not ruining your life. I gave you an opportunity to be civil, and you chose to take the actions that you took. And, actions have consequences. Like that, it just is what it is. But what you're not going to do is sit here and tell me that I fucked up your life when what's fucked up your life consistently has been your own poor choices. Um, and I'm
Yep.
telling you, like if that shit would have happened a month ago, I would have been like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I would have driven down there to talk to him and make sure he was okay. I would have tried to talk it out, but I'm like, you haven't cared about how I felt this entire time. And I've put my own feelings on the back burner and I've sacrificed those and my self-worth um just to be with you. And I just got to this point, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just not. And I'm very fortunate. And I've talked about this in probably the last couple of podcasts, which, whatever, judge me. But I just
Oh
met
God,
some.
girl, the amount that I've talked about the asshole, it's okay.
Well, no, I'm just gonna say, like, I met someone who literally just appeared, um, but who showed me that I was worth more, and um, that sat with me different. Like I'd never been treated the way that I've been treated, and like the way this person kept popping up in my life, it was like they just belonged there. Like we found out that we've always lived like real close to each other, even when we lived in a different state. Um, and when
That's
I
great.
met, when we met, it was by chance. And then when I had a problem, I don't know why I called this person, but I did, and they just happened to be like physically be where I was. And it's like shit like that. Like I've always been like, I don't believe in anything as far as like, I'm not like very religious. I'm more spiritual than religious. But I was like, God damn, like if you were not meant to be in my life, like I don't know what to do with this right now. But it's been very interesting, like the stark differences, and we've had those conversations as well. And because I have been able to build up this self-respect, I am able to accept that kind of treatment. Whereas before, when people treated me well, I pushed them away. I did not accept love.
You went out for a little bit.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was just saying, like, because of the self respect that I built, I'm now able to accept that type of treatment. Whereas before, when people treated me well, I pushed them away. I was like, no, we're not doing this. Because I was so used to, I was accustomed to shit. And I am like really working on forcing myself to accept, like good, and positivity and love and kindness. And I think I'm doing okay.
Well, that's what you deserve, honestly. I mean,
It
you're a
took me
good
so
person.
long to realize that.
Yeah, but the thing is when you're in the midst of it, you really don't realize how much of yourself is gone. I mean, I didn't realize that until after I got out and was, married to Mark and whatnot. I mean, shit, Mark and I started out as fuck buddies.
There it is. Ten,
I'm not gonna.
however many years later, here you are.
Yeah, right. That's the way we started out, but he is what helped me get out of a horrible situation.
That sounds so
Um,
familiar.
yeah, and you know, when you have that self-respect, it's so much different when you find it again. Um,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Well, and it's not only applying to romantic relationships. Like I just told Marie about something involving my family where I was like, you know what? I required this level of respect. I required, you know, I required some, I'm not even going to get into it because it's very personal, but I required, you know, disconnection from someone who fucking ruined my life and from somebody and they didn't do it. And I was like, you know what? Then there's distance now. Like, I'm not even being an asshole, but like, I respect myself way too much to have somebody in my life telling me that they love me and they're still fucking
Mm-hmm.
around with somebody who took everything from me. And I mean, like, my heart and soul. Like, I was depressed and fucked up for years. Um, and like, yeah, I'm not fucking with that. And so it's not just a romantic thing, but you have to understand that wherever it starts is, I mean, it seeps into everything. And for a long time in my life, it was my family. I was a people pleaser. I wanted to be loved a certain way by my family. I wanted to be accepted a certain way. So I didn't even care about how I felt about me. I cared about what they felt about me. And then that trickled into my relationships. And it's been like this ping pong thing back and forth. And now I'm just like, yo, fuck all y'all. You don't like me? Don't talk to me. You can't respect the boundaries that I make. Don't talk to me. You can't respect me. Don't talk to me. Like it's cool. Um, but it is hard, like you said, when someone has really manipulated you to fall in love with them. Like, I mean, the person that I met and the person I was in a relationship with were two completely different people, but I was in love with the person that I met. Um, and it's hard to accept that that person is not real.
Didn't exist, yeah.
They never existed.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Look at this bitch over here. What are you putting on?
Like I said, I'm just playing today. I have to do something with my hands. I told y'all in the last podcast that I have major ADD, and I have to be doing something with my hands.
You're so
So I got these neon pigments, so I'm trying to do something with them.
funny.
Anyway, but I mean, you know, sometimes we have to go through these things to come out on the other end better than what we were to begin with.
Oh, hell yeah. I've said many times, I have no regret, which probably sounds crazy, but I don't.
No, it doesn't.
I learned so much. I got broken down and I had to rebuild myself back up, and I'm fine with that. I learned a lot in that. I had to, you want to know what's so crazy is like sometimes situations are just crazy. Um, the first, I think it was coming the whole time, I think, but it's so funny how this all really started, and this all really started off of an argument after a protest. Um, and like, you know, the black community holds a very like special place in my fucking heart. Like, I'm not even gonna get into it. If you heard the BLM podcast, you heard it. If you didn't, then go listen to it. But I marched for, Black Lives Matter, and I did it more than once, and I, started conversations, and I shared
Hang
my
on,
opinions, and huh?
hang on. Okay, I got
Mm.
to BLM podcast, and that's it.
No, I'm saying, if you heard it, you heard it. If you didn't, then go listen to it. But Um, I protested with Black Lives Matter. I have lived within the communities. I have a black child. I have loved black men. Um, so these things, and these people are my neighbors or my friends. These things are very important to me. And we got into an argument, and he's like, I don't know why you're so worried about something that doesn't even matter. Oh my God. Or something along those lines.
hmm
And that was deep. That was deep. Like, I don't like that really was the first big moment where I was like, no, you are coming after something that I find fundamentally fucking wrong. Um, and you're basically telling me that you wouldn't stand up for people because you're fucking scared. Nah, like I'll take the fucking tear gas, like I'll take the fucking rubber bullets. It is what it is. I'm fine. Like whatever. I'll stand in front of a black man, woman, or child to protect them. And the fact that I'm so passionate about it, to have somebody look at you in the middle of like passionate fucking anger and disgrace, right? And instead of appreciating how much you care, be like, the fuck is wrong with you? That was step one. And then it just slowly started to trickle away from there. Um, but that is so much deeper than anyone even realizes. I've had a lot of aha moments lately, and one of them is that I have been with people who say one thing and act another way. I was engaged to a man who I thought was great, and he knew my situation with my oldest daughter, and then we got engaged, and he started using the N-word and like being real rude and like real racist, and I'm like, I have a black daughter, like what? And then I'm sitting here marching basically for my black daughter, and you sit here and tell me it's not worth it? Like, people don't
Kind
think.
of deja vu, huh?
People don't think before they open their mouth. It's just crazy to me. But yeah, that was the first moment that I really stood up and I was like, yo, fuck this. Like, I walked the fuck out the house because no, you're not gonna sit here and talk to me like that about something that is fundamentally fucking wrong. Like, I am 120 million% a humanist first. Okay. And I'm sorry, like, you can't deny the things that are happening within this country. And you can't look at me like I'm fucking stupid for standing up for it. Just because I think of people other than myself, that doesn't make me a shitty person. If anything, that makes me a good person. So, like, fuck you. um, that shit was so
That's the
crazy.
truth.
I have to, like, really rein myself in. Sorry, the smoke from this incense is getting me. I have to, like, really rein myself in on this matter because it's just like I'm very passionate about it.
No,
Um,
you don't. That your passion is what makes everything real.
I know, but I will go off for like a hot minute. We can always do a part two to that too. It's fine. Um, but yeah, it's hard. I will say, and I posted this up yesterday on my status. Like, it's hard when you're being told that your views don't matter, but you have cared for and loved people who have said, like, I'm just happy to be alive another day. I'm just happy that, I'm blessed to see the sun. I'm blessed to have woken up this morning. Like, and it's crazy because like that's really people's fucking reality. And I said last night, I said, my biggest concern in the morning is if I'm gonna have time to make fucking coffee.
Hmm.
I'm not worried about what happens to me when I walk outside the door of my goddamn house. And so, yeah,
Right.
like just because that's not your reality and just because maybe you haven't loved people who have that reality does not mean that it is any less real or any less important. And I will be goddamned if you're going to sit here and diminish an entire people and their struggles because you're scared of the
It doesn't
cops.
affect you. Well, and it doesn't. The fact that it doesn't affect you,
Exactly.
and that's what a
Exactly.
lot of people say. It's like, it don't affect me, So why am I worried about it?
Yeah. Um, I have a lot of feelings right now. As y'all can hear, though, I am much calmer than I was. Um, my my daughter's father and I had a conversation about this. Like, I've just never felt so peaceful in my life, and I feel like I went through a year of shit so that I could find this peace.
hmm
And what's crazy
Yeah,
is
because even before you met him, you weren't at peace.
no, I wasn't. And I think that, like I said, I needed to be broken down. Like, everyone wants to go, oh my God, why did this happen to me? No, this should happen for me. I needed to be broken down. I needed to rebuild the foundation of who I was. And I needed everything that I got. And I'm in no way, excusing his behavior by any means. But what I am saying is that because of what I experienced, I was able to rebuild myself and I was able to reflect and I was able to, just have a different perspective than from where I started. And I'm so grateful. The only thing I will say, I told Maria, my daughter came up to me. My daughter, she's smart. She came up to me, and if you listen to this, this is the only time I'll say that I hope you feel like shit. My daughter, my daughter came up to me, no, because she shouldn't even have to think about this. And she goes, Mom, do you remember going to mommy's house? And I was like, we haven't gone to mommy's house. She's like, yesterday, obviously, like she's playing something in her head. And I'm like, we didn't go to mommy's house yesterday. And she starts telling me, you don't remember, like he was mad and he was yelling at you and you closed the door and you cried and I was scared and I cried and he was so mad and he's so loud and he cried, like why is he mad at you? And I felt my entire world just shatter because I felt like holy shit. And like in that moment, I failed you as a mother because all I've said is that I wanted to protect you from this. But what I can do, and if anyone else deals with this, what you can do is, in an age appropriate fashion, explain um, how you overcame it and what you now
Yeah.
realize you deserve. So I have to look at my beautiful, smart, and kind little toddler, and I had to tell her, you know what? That was very sad. And you know what? We don't talk to people who make us sad, and we don't talk to people who yell at us, and we don't accept people yelling at us, and being mean to us. And sometimes, um, it takes time to learn that. And that's not a conversation I wanted to ever have with my 3-year-old. But you know what? It is what it is. And I handle it the best way that I can, honestly.
Yeah, and
Typically,
just be sure that she knows um, that she needs to respect herself.
exactly. And that was the biggest thing, is like, we do not accept this. And that's why we don't go back to mommy's house, because we don't accept that type of treatment from anybody. I'm really gonna throw this computer in a second. Um,
I,
but
I
yeah.
think I've said this. I think I've said this story before, but the women in our family, us three girls, because I have two other sisters, and my connection is really, really poor today. So let me know if I go in or out.
Okay.
Um, but the women in our family were, well, the three of us, my three sisters, are my two sisters and I. We were raised to be very, very independent. We were raised um, to not need a man.
Mhm.
And I say this as, and people are going to go, oh God, you know, this whole thing. But let me explain to you. My dad grew up in a very abusive household.
Mhm.
Um, he grew up and his father cheated on his grandmother multiple times. Um, and it was just, that's just how things were. And he saw him be abusive to her, and she stayed.
Mhm.
She stayed because back then that was the
Hmm.
dynamic,
Yep, you didn't
especially
leave.
in especially in a Mexican American household, um, or a Hispanic household. You support your husband no matter what, and
Yep.
that's just the way that it was. And she knew she couldn't do it by herself. She did have a job. She eventually got a job and started supporting herself, but that was way after the fact.
Mhm.
And my father vowed to himself that if he had any girls, that he would teach us to be independent. And he
Mhm.
did. What's funny is that not all three of us, but two of us ended up in an abusive relationship. We eventually got out of it. Um, but because of that, he taught us to be very independent. And I've
Right.
never needed anybody to support me. Never. Well, until now. But that
You're
was a
you're enough
choice.
years into your marriage. It's fair.
That was a choice. But no, I've never ever needed anybody to support me. I've always made my own money. I've always, even when it came to doing my own thing, entrepreneurial type stuff, um, I did everything myself. And even to this day, it's funny because that kind of hinders, it kind of hinders my marriage now a little bit, because I'm still not used to not supporting myself. I'm used to bringing something into the household, or standing on
Right.
my own 2 feet. And it's a problem. I guess it's a good problem in our marriage, but it is a problem in our marriage. It's very hard for me to let go. Very,
Right.
very hard for me to let go. But that's why we were independent. He taught us to be strong. He taught us to fend for ourselves. He taught us how to never, ever need a guy.
Right.
Um, and that's just all from the fact that he saw that firsthand and he went through it.
You know what's so funny is
So,
like my mom, excuse me, my mom was raised without a father. And my grandmother was a very strong woman from what I understand. I don't know. I know lots of weird pieces that don't add up. So I decided to just accept that. And my great grandmother was, give you the shirt off her back type of woman, which I like to believe. I try to be like that most of the time.
oh,
Um,
you are.
it's funny because my mom would be like, my mom has a very entrepreneurial spirit. She doesn't use it very much anymore. And my mom, when I was younger, she would talk to me about being a strong woman, how being a strong woman and an independent woman was important, and how, if she wanted all the nice things, she was going to get all the nice things. But then she would turn around. I'll never forget. I was so young, and it was right when she left my dad because she was in this apartment, and her friend was over, and she said, she looked at me. I had to be 4 or 5. She said, "When you grow up, do you marry a man because you love him, or for money?" Mind you, this is a woman who's telling me independence is key. And and also, you grow up on Disney, love princesses, and I said, well, you marry somebody because you love them. And my mother laughed in my face and said, it's okay, baby, you're gonna learn. And I was like,
What?
whoa, let it sink in, Maria, let it sink in. And like,
Excuse me?
and that was crazy to me. And what's so funny is like my mom goes through these ups and downs of like, I'm a strong, independent bitch. And then it's like, ooh, look at me staying home while my man does, X, Y. And I'm just like, oh my God. But it's so funny because even with that coming up, I am such a person of like, I don't care if you're broke. I don't care if you, um, sorry, I'm getting weird text messages. Um, I don't care if you're broke. I don't care if you've got, a box to sleep in or if you're in a fucking mansion. I don't care if you are walking to work or if you're driving a $60,000 fucking truck. What I care about is your heart. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. You want to talk about self-respect. Self-respect is not equated to being with someone with things. Okay, self-respect is
God, yes.
respecting yourself enough and someone else enough to see past bullshit and love people for who the fuck they are. And that's something too. Like, I'm sorry, I don't respect you and you don't respect yourself. If you are in, I just got real hyped because ooh, you don't respect yourself if you are in a relationship with somebody not based on love, not based on how they treat you, but based on the bullshit they fucking throw at you. I would take a conversation over jewelry any day. I will take creative collaboration over a nice house any day. Yo, if you can have it all, have it all. That's cool. But what I'm saying is I'm so sick of seeing these women out here. And I'm not saying there aren't men too, but I'm saying as a woman, I'm so tired of seeing these women out here who are like, I respect myself too much to be with some broke ass motherfucker. Bitch, you never struggled?
Right?
I respect myself too much to be with somebody who's gonna do the same shit that I just had happen to me. That's what I'm worried about.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
have nothing materialistic, but you have a heart of fucking gold. Yo, like, come be by my side. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
Oh,
just,
yeah.
People disgust me. I'm sorry I went in about that, but that shit like irritates the
No,
piss.
that. Oh yeah, that's true. It's very true, and I've seen it. You see it a lot. You see it a lot. Um, the woman is with someone who doesn't respect her.
And
Um,
throw shit.
you know, yeah, yeah. But it's like, oh, he's got money, so I'm gonna stay with him, and he could care less, cheating on him, doing all this other shit, and
Huh.
being abusive. Not saying that rich guys cannot be nice.
No,
Okay, please, I'm
no,
not
but
saying that.
yeah. No, it's not even like that.
But
Mm-mm.
you see them do that, but you have another person over here who is the nicest person in the world and has no money or has no job or is hard on his luck, and you
Right.
don't give him you don't give him the you don't think twice about it because he has no money,
And you know what?
you
Here's the
know
thing. Like, we've all been in these situations. I've lived out my damn car, okay? I've been between jobs. I've been stuck, okay? And that doesn't mean that I felt like I didn't deserve love, okay? Like, y'all have got to stop looking past this bullshit for real, because the same people who say, I respect myself too much to be with some broke motherfucker will go get with some dude who has money and is fucking all these other women behind your back, and to make up for it, throwing cash at you. Like, know the line. That's all I'm saying.
mm-hmm.
Sorry, I get real irritated about shit like that because I'm so tired of seeing good people treated like shit because, they aren't fucking showering you in lavish things. Well, if you're such a fucking independent bitch, then go fucking drown yourself in that shit.
Yeah, right, make it yourself.
Sorry, I gotta calm down. It's fine.
No, I'm right there with you because I mean, like I said in the other podcast, um, I married Mark when he didn't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Uh, Sometimes it's like that, and it's okay. Ooh, I'm gonna calm down, and I'm gonna read this.
yes, please, please. I'm
Because
sorry, we just
Maria,
kind of got off track.
no, you're fine. Because Maria, I sent this to her and I was like, I haven't written in a while. And she was like, damn. And I was like, oh, really? I still got it. So that's nice. But basically, this is just a little bit of getting what was on my mind off my mind. It applies to today's podcast. So it doesn't have a title to it. I just wrote it from my heart. So work with me. Don't look at me. Look, dead ass. Like,
I'll keep messing with my extra as fuck lashes.
I had to,
Look at these things.
I read some shit. Ooh, I read some shit last night and I was like, yo, you gotta like mute yourself, or I gotta take my head. I literally couldn't breathe. I literally couldn't. I was reading and I was like, like I just couldn't breathe. So it's just, don't mind me. I do better in crowd, like in front of crowds, not like small things. So, anyways,
Really?
but
Yeah, it's the other
yeah.
way around.
When I would sing, if I was in front of a full audience, I was good. But if you put me in front of like three people, I'd be like, okay, that's not gonna happen. It's really weird. Anyways, okay. Are you ready?
Yes,
Okay.
I want to hear.
And again, there's no title to this. So, he said I was crazy, but love made the view hazy. Eyes red and burnt and tired from crying. My heart stopped beating from being the only one trying. My words were full of love. I wanted to see him whole, but you can't fix hate that's built deep within a soul, not with words to work the mind or his body on top of mine. These are not answers, and I lost more than just my time. My strength began to dissipate. Negativity would congregate within the walls of this temple, and I started to break down. No structure, no foundation, and now no one is around to hear these screams. I needed help. I was drowning in a pool of these cards that I was dealt, a hand that I cannot understand. Was this soul just a part of God's plan to make a woman build a man over and over again? Why do I deserve these fists raised to me? This isn't the type of woman that I was raised to be. But give yourself grace, because we laugh in the face of doubt. We are the spirits the world can't live without, where the love is strong when our days are long and we want to give up, but we still press on because we see light in this life, even when they say that we're wrong. And eventually the pain stops, like the resolve of a song. We can breathe again when we least expect to. The light shines down and tells us not to forget to count our blessings, because sometimes that's all that we've got. And though your hate will be forgiven, your mind will still rot. Oh, I hope he hears that.
I'm pretty sure he will, because I'm pretty sure he listens to the podcast. Or he doesn't care, but either way, it's...
To it. I might share this in written form on the Facebook at some point, probably after Wednesday.
You probably should do it on the Instagram too.
Ooh, you right.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
probably should do it on there too. I mean, you can tell you put a lot of yourself in that.
I try.
That's what makes it so good.
Yeah, I try. Yeah. My brain, did you see me just like pause? I was like, ooh. It's a lot of energy taken out of me, okay?
Especially today. I'm very, very absent-minded, guys, today. If I seem like I'm not all there, it probably is true. I poured coffee over my head. And then it just went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's fine. Yeah, it just went downhill from there, so it's kind of...
Yeah, I feel that.
It's crazy.
I was like, I woke up with like good energy, and then it just went like, like, yeah, me and Maria, it is funny because we really do like sync up a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And she's like, yo, it is not my day. And I was like, yo, it's not my day either. Um, yeah, I haven't, I heard things I want to hear, and then I didn't hear.
Show in this podcast.
Yeah, it's just like, it's like, look, I had to talk about things I didn't want to talk about. I had to hear things that I didn't want to hear, and then I didn't hear things from people I wanted to hear from, and I'm just like, ooh, y'all are stressing me out right now. Everybody, excuse me, oh my God. Yeah, it's just one of those days. It's fine.
It is. I mean, I'm sure everybody else understands too. Hey, we've been on point for like 2 podcasts. It can't be that way all the time. Come on now.
True. We're allowed to have a rough Monday. Look, I was so excited this morning. I was like, it's Monday, bitches. How's everybody starting their Monday? We're going to start this Monday great. And then, yeah. That's not funny.
We were bound to have a day like this because we've been walking on air the last week.
Yeah, that's super true.
Actually, the last couple of weeks we have been. It's been really good. I mean, one bad day is not going to kill us.
We'll be fine.
Although sometimes it seems that way. I started getting into my feels today. I don't know what made me think of it, but I was thinking about the idiot today, and I think it was because we were talking about the subject that we were talking about today, and I started thinking about the child and everything that happened there, and signs that I saw, and um, me wanting to believe what I knew was a lie. And it kind of fits into what we were thinking. I mean, what we were talking about today, and I just started heavily thinking about that, and I was just like, all over again, how the fuck could I have done that? And then
Okay.
subsequently got into a complete depression after that. I mean, nothing was going on, yet I felt like I lost a best friend, like a part of me.
Right. Right.
Um, so it just, I don't know. I started getting in my feels this morning.
That's okay. No, I was just saying, like, I'm still in my feels right now. Like, I'm really trying to, talk about, self-respect. I'm really trying. I'm really trying, y'all. I am trying
No,
to,
but
like,
that's the thing. Once you finally got through that, I mean, you know your self-worth. You know what you bring to the table, and if somebody's not going to respect that, then you have no business dealing with them, and you don't have the time. You honestly don't have the time.
I told Maria today, I said, and I say this a lot in general, so this is not like special to what I'm talking about. I said, you have time for what you prioritize. And I've always said that, and I learned that a long time ago because we like to say we don't have time for things. You have time for what you prioritize, and that's fine. But just be aware of what you're prioritizing, who you're prioritizing, and again, like, what are you getting in return from that? Is what you're prioritizing feeding you and your soul? Is who you're prioritizing you in return? Shit like that. And like, it's not as deep as it fucking sounds. I'm just saying, like, I told Maria today, I was like, you know basically what she just said, like, I know my worth at this point. um and it is what it is. Like, I will never beg somebody. This isn't relevant to what I'm talking about, but like, I will never beg somebody to love me again. I will never chase somebody again. I will never fucking put myself out there in a way that will break me the way I was broken again. Like, fuck that. Fuck that. Like, that's crazy. I'm not doing that. Now, all I was gonna say was, like, pay attention to uh fuck, what was I gonna say? Pay attention to, consistency versus circumstance. And what I mean by that is, like, circumstances fucking happen and you can't hold that shit against people. But as long as people are working to be consistent, and as long as you are working to be consistent in whatever it is that you're pursuing, that's what really matters. Not everything looks exactly how we want it to look all the time. And I think that a lot of times we don't think about, we don't think outside of ourselves and what we have going on enough. So just pay attention. I made a scrunchy ball when I was anxious talking.
Yeah, it's kind of hard talking about all of this. You know,
You know,
um, it's hard for me to admit that somebody got the better of me. I
same.
mean, and I'm 40 years old.
That's
Okay,
so
I was
weird to
30. I
me.
was 39. I was 39 at the time, but I'm 41 years old, and somebody got the better of me. I mean, you're never too old to experience things like this. I try hard not to be naive. I really do. But the thing is I I will forever be that person that wants to see the best in everybody and wants to give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm an empath. I will always be an empath.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, and I really, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I want to believe there is good in this world. Um, and sometimes it happens to the detriment of myself. But it is what it is.
Right.
Bounce back and that will and I do talk about this a lot. Like you said, you were like, I've talked about this a lot, but no, I do talk about this a lot because that was a huge lesson in my life. A
Mm-hmm.
huge lesson to not give all of myself to someone I don't know, to someone I
Yeah.
don't fully, um, and have have the respect in myself and have the confidence in myself to see the signs and just back away.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I feel that.
that's what that has taught me. Um, you know, sad time in my life, but still, you learn a lesson from everything.
Oh, for sure. Even
So,
well, and usually it is the shitty stuff that you learn from.
shit. Yeah. Oh yeah. Um, yeah, it is. And then you meet somebody and they kind of change your life forever. I love you.
I know. We're not talking about it today.
Hang in there. Hang in there. Everything's going to
Everything's
fall into
yes,
place.
yes it is. Yes it is. Oh my god.
Everything's going to fall into place. So if you learn anything from this rambling that both of us have been doing
This is what
today,
we do, by the way. If you're new.
um, just know, one thing, you're not alone.
No, never.
Another thing is always follow your instincts. And if you do get in that cycle, please, 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 in the back of your mind, try to listen to what's being told to you.
Yes.
Try. I know it's hard. Trust me, I know it's hard. Because you don't want to believe that. You, you really don't. Heather's over here with the brush.
It's so soft. I swear to God, I'm not like on drugs or anything. I'm just being weird.
Hey, you're talking to somebody who just sat here and did one eye
You look great.
the entire podcast.
You you look phenomenal coming from the crazy bitch with the fucking brush on my face.
um, no, but I mean, you're not alone. And hey, reach out to one of us.
No, for real.
I swear we've been through everything.
Yeah. Just about.
Everything. Me and my 41 years and Heather and her 28.
Yep.
Oh, I was right.
You're so funny. It's true though.
Heather's been through a lot. Heather's been through so much in her short lifespan.
Oh my God. I just said today, I was like, you know, one thing I'm tired of hearing, and like, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you at all. I was like, I'm so tired because it's true. That's why I'm tired of hearing it. I literally just said this. I was like, I'm so tired of hearing like, you know, and you just had to go through and see so much more than you should have had to. before a certain age, and like you continue to
Yeah.
overcome da da da, and I'm just like, I don't even want to be that bitch. Like let
But
me have the
it's
privilege to be
true.
fucking naive, man. Like I don't even have that privilege. Like look, my shit
Oh,
started
no,
when I
no,
was
no, no.
a kid.
No, no, you don't want to be that naive person. I was that naive person,
You're right.
and I'm still sometimes that naive person. You don't want to be that person. Trust me.
Okay.
You
It is what
you
it is.
don't want to be that person. You know, it is what it is, and I hope to God that I'm able to teach my kids stuff.
You will.
I really do. I really do. By the way, my daughter listens to our podcasts.
That's good.
No, I mean, no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I go, you listen to our podcast? And she looks at me and she goes, I like Mark's intro.
Just tell her,
I was
just
like,
say
no, no,
that
it's
you love
okay.
me.
Yeah, I like you'll learn a lot from our podcasts, you know.
That's very true.
Um, and it makes me think twice about saying some crap that I say.
I'll definitely
not
think
not not
twice.
no, 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 no. I don't want it to. I don't want it to like hinder anything that you say. But it's like I gotta think twice about the way I talk about certain people.
Yeah, fair. Oh yeah, I'll talk all my shit.
Yeah, it makes me think twice about that. I mean, not like anything I've said has been horrible or not true, but
True.
I I just I don't ever want her thinking that I think ill will of him,
Right.
because I don't. I mean, it is what it is. We've been through that. We were horrible for each other, and we're now in very healthy relationships. So.
Yeah.
She just,
One of you is.
I love you.
I love you. I am bronzing my face. I don't know why.
You were putting bronzer on?
On my chin and my cheeks. Yo, I need to like go to
So cute.
bed or something. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me.
Dude, I need to go back to bed. I talked to my dad today. It's so hard. I mean, that's what's wrong with me today. I was watching Hallmark Christmas movies this weekend. Don't
Mm.
judge. Okay? Don't judge. It's Christmas in July, okay? I like Hallmark movies. I like Hallmark Christmas movies. That's just who I am. Um,
We accept you.
but yeah, but it's something that my mom and I used to do together. And um, God, things like that are just, they're hard.
Hmm.
I told Mark that I invited you down for Christmas.
What he said? He said, "Fuck that bitch."
He goes, that's a good idea. He's willing to do. It's my first Christmas without my mom, so he's gonna do whatever I want because that's just the way that he is. Um, so yeah, it's hard. You know, sometimes it just jumps on you. I texted Heather. I'm like, I'm watching Christmas movies and cry. And they're not even meant to make me cry.
You're so funny.
Because I'm sitting there thinking about, I'm not going to be able to do this with my mom anymore. We used to sit there and get so excited talking about which movies that I think she would like and this and that, and I realized that I can't do that anymore.
Right.
It's hard. It's very, very hard. So that's what's wrong with me today. Damn it.
You're doing great.
I start thinking about, all the crap that I went through. Of course, nothing like what she's gone through this year.
Oh my god, it's not a
Nothing.
competition.
No, I know it's not, but still, I do realize that I have a good life. I really do.
Fair.
I do.
Should I do?
And I want Heather to move in with me.
Listen, this is not my decision in life.
I don't know. I want her and P to move in. I have a space in my garage over here. It's just sitting there empty, waiting for it to be filled.
Oh my god. This bitch is like, let's go.
You like the guilt trip that I'm putting on you right now?
You know what? I deserve it because I've been guilt tripping somebody else for like 3 days. So this is just karma. That's all it is. I really have been.
Hey, you have the right to, though.
He was
That's
like,
kind of
really?
messed up.
He's like, really? You're gonna do this manipulative shit to me right now? I'm sorry.
It's kind of messed up, dude.
No, it's fine. I'm not even mad. I don't even have time to be mad. Like, go ahead. It's cool.
Who's listening in on me? Hello?
Nobody, apparently.
Announce yourself. Oh, the call got disconnected. We have an echo. We have an echo dot in our my office. I have an echo dot in the living room, and it has this drop-in feature that they can drop in on you, and it announces them. But if you have the app on your phone, you can drop in on us. So every now and then Mark from work will like drop in and I'm like, what do you want?
Yo, I'm gonna do that to you.
So you hear it?
I don't know how you do it, but you're gonna text me about it and I'm gonna fuck with you so hard.
What did you say? What did you say? To feed my dogs? Yes, please. I love you.
I love you too.
Bye.
Now your kids don't even have to walk into your fucking... I'm done.
Well, that's why we got it. Because once we saw that it did that, we're like...
Alexa, stop dropping.
Did you hear it? She goes, Alexa, stop dropping.
Mm-hmm. Yo, I have one of those in the living room. I'm about to fuck with you so hard.
Yeah, she's like, she goes, oh yeah, you can call people from your Alexa. You could add me to your list and you can call me.
Mark is gonna hate me.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. We put one in my office and we put one in the living room once we found that it can drop in. That way the kids can get a hold of me because they know when I'm on my recording or things like that, and they know when they can they can just kind of, it announces you and then you can talk to them like I did with my child, and we found that out and we were like, oh, this would be great. So we put one in the living room, we put one in my office, and now we want one for the kids' rooms and our room.
Yeah.
So we can just drop it. Because Mark's like, I can just drop it on any of y'all. I can like make sure that Blake is awake. I started laughing.
I'm so done.
Yes, you can. So yeah, you didn't know you can do that? Alexa can do a lot of things.
Yeah, fuck
Like,
Alexa. Yo, that's the government.
Yeah,
Like,
sad but true shit.
don't
I
let me
think
be ignorant.
that's why Mark's wife won't put it in their house because this is just the government listening.
I don't want that shit. Bye.
I like it.
You're so
Do you
funny.
ask-
And now I'm gonna annoy y'all all the time.
do you think I care?
No.
No. Mark's gonna be like, Heather, we're busy.
And I'm gonna be like, with what? Let me know.
All right, we're still. We were not on our game today, and we're still over an hour.
Yeah, we do this. But you know what? Mike brought me chicken, because I'm a needy bitch. He's so nice to me, and he really has no reason to be. Um, that's so real. So I'm gonna eat some chicken. My computer's on 23%, so I'm living my best life. Um,
And my internet sucks, so
we're doing great.
Yes, we are. We're doing great today. But hey, if y'all have any suggestions for us, feel free to you can even send in a recording to us on the Anchor FM site. You can write us on any of our social medias. Facebook, you can follow me and you can message me, but you cannot friend me. Other than that, because that's personal, that's more for family. Other than that,
Hold on.
as far as Instagram and everything is concerned, you can message me. You can message us on our Lifestyle Unfiltered podcast Instagram page. And yeah, all the ways to get a hold of us are there. Heather does lives, and I'm on. Heather does lives pretty much every day on Facebook, and I go on there and annoy the crap out of her.
No, I like that.
So feel free, pop in and hang with us and talk to us, and give us suggestions and stuff. Because we really, like she said today, we really don't have anything till we never really plan anything until last minute, because that's just the way that we are. So if you have a suggestion. All right, guys, we are really leaving now, because I'm sure you don't want to hear Heather eating. So
My bad.
no, it's okay. I can't hear you.
Okay.
I love you all, guys, and we will see you next week. Look, we're staying on schedule.
Yay! Look at us.
Love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.